All right, so you have a list of 22 people on your Who Do You Know list, and you want
Hmm.
to share Isagenix with them.
Yeah.
So, out of these people, who do you think are the most likely, the most ready to share with?
That I am the most ready to share with?
Well, no, I was saying that who is the most ready to share with?
TJ?
Okay, who else?
Um, well, Willie is invited. Like, I need follow up with him.
Okay,
But him, I'm not sure. Like, TJ probably. Mary Fair? Mm, Bernie, well, Bernie is, and Bernie hasn't signed up yet.
so you
So,
want to put Bernie on your list.
yeah, I guess to invite. Okay. Okay.
All right, now, and then he needs follow up, right?
Yeah.
Perfect. So, um, what does TJ want? Why do you think TJ would be a good fit for Isagenix?
I think TJ would be a good fit because he's living a bachelor life and he's working constantly. He used to
What
be very much
what does he
interested
do for work?
sitting.
That doesn't tell me what he does for work.
Well,
He doesn't sit for work. He might sit at work, but somebody does for
you're
work.
right.
How does he get paid?
He gets paid by he's the what do they call them? Assistant, the person who's at the desk at a mechanic shop,
Oh,
at an auto record.
so he works at an auto record
Yeah,
and
but he
doing
does the
some
paperwork.
secretarial
Yeah,
people work.
secretarial work. Yeah,
Okay, cool. So he works with Willie,
he used to.
but not Willie doesn't work there anymore.
No, he doesn't work
What does
anymore.
Willie do there? What does Willie do for work?
He used to, like, Willie used to be a mechanic there. That's where he learned some mechanic work. But now Willie works for just a bigger company, like someone that's more, and he's a heavy duty mechanic, like doing
Got
big
it.
machinery.
Okay, cool. So then, TJ, how do you see to reach out to him?
How do I see to reach out to him?
Yeah,
Well, I know he responds through voice messages, so like voice messages are good.
that's
Um,
good.
he'd probably he'd answer my call if I call like in the evening. I know he'd do that. In regards to, yeah, is that answer your question?
No, no, it doesn't. I was asking about the conversation, like the words,
Oh,
the appeal, the approach. Your
well, I would ask him how things are going because like my mom used to do a lot of the cooking. He'd just come home and just like eat. But now he's living a bachelor life. Now like he has to do everything. So
It's cool that you talk to him about how the cooking is, and if you uncover a problem and you help the pain be more painful, you discover the wound, and then through your questions like, "How's it going?" It's like, "Has it been challenging?" It's like, "What do you find most challenging about cooking on your own? You're throwing salt in the wound.
okay, yeah,
You're
maybe I
you're
because
making
I
the
did ask like
person
how's it
thirsty."
going, but he's like it's going good. Some things are coming back because like he used to do that like when he was
Cooking, what's do that?
yeah cooking for
Okay.
himself. Like
Uh-huh.
he used to live in an apartment by himself or like with other young folks. So he's saying that I've had to relearn or like it's coming back slowly that like what to do. But so maybe asking him like what's your greatest challenge in the meal prep?
Is that gonna keep recording if the screen's on?
Yeah, it's recording.
Yeah, like asking him what, like one thing that I would do too on that database is copy over the clarity call button so that you have a copy of the clarity call button. That will give you scripts of types of questions that you can ask.
Okay, okay. Let me just take a note then to do that. Um, copy over my active so that I know what questions to ask.
Do you have access to the clarity call script on your computer that you can pull it up?
Relatively fast. Are you here? If I type in active clarity call,
Yeah, just clarity call. That should work.
clarity call database, or UI clarity I think it's that one.
I didn't know there was a clearly called database. All right, so we could check out what the script looks like. So here you were saying
Fine.
some things like look for the problem. Under phase 4, if you look at that, you might want to zoom in for the recording sake too. Yeah, that's good. So phase 4, you could say, what would you say is your number one biggest challenge in your health or in your cooking or preparing food at home? It's like, what do you see is most challenging about cooking for home? Or what's not working in your health at the level that you feel it truly could or that it should be? And that's when people are like, wow, I haven't been working out as much, or I haven't been going out as much, or I haven't been getting, like, I haven't been eating the best, or like Bernie was saying that I've been going about and going out to eat and then not really eating healthy stuff. It's not good for me, and so it's kind of inconvenient. So you're looking for a problem. You are a problem solver, not a product pusher. So you're gonna be like,
Yeah.
hey, I got some cool products. I think you'd really like them. Don't do that until you discover their problem. No gap, no sale. Don't
Yeah. I
start
don't know if
selling.
he's said that it's a problem.
That's what the question is.
Yeah, yeah, I know.
Who said that it's a problem?
TJ. No, TJ. Like, I don't know if I've like
It
I've,
doesn't
I've
matter if he said it. That's why we're asking the questions.
okay.
If you, so like along those lines too,
Yeah, it's like you can't
here,
assume that that is their problem.
well, there's a difference between making an assumption and making a hypothesis. Or a hypothesis is an educated guess. You form an educated guess and then you ask questions to dig. Think of questions as a tool. It's like a shovel that you're able to dig to find the problem and find the motive, find the reasons to stack, find the stories that limit them, or find their motive, their why of why they would say yes. So it's good that you have an educated guess
Uh-huh.
based on patterns with bachelors, based on patterns of young men, based on patterns of who you're talking to. They could be fathers or husbands working out of the home. Just based on patterns of people,
Mm-hmm.
based on past experiences that you've had with them, interactions, and based on past conversations. So you have an educated guess, and now think of your questions as this is your opportunity to have, you want them to tell you their pain, their problem, their motives, their interests, their stuff like that. That way this is like Socrates, well, this is you're able to ask some of those questions. So then, let's say he says, or like you haven't talked to him for a while. They're like, hey, how's it been cooking on your own now that mom's not over there cooking cooking for you? Has it been challenging? And in some ways too, it's like where oh, has that put you in a tough position? Or like has that been challenging? And they're like, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, a little bit. In what way? You see? And then you could say like, hey, what's bothering you most about your health? Or like what's and the thing is I want to be clear. You don't want to ask all of these questions.
Yeah, that'd be
You,
like a little bit too much. And they were like, "Why are you asking so many questions?" But like, do people do that?
well, it depends on how you ask it. Not usually, because you can ask questions in a conversation as long as it sounds like a conversation, it's fine. But the key here is like for every phase, you want to, as soon as you get the answer, you can move on to the next step.
Okay.
So you don't have to, you don't want to, this is like different variations of how you could discover the problem.
That makes sense.
But once you find it, then you're like, oh, okay, cool. Now let's go on to the next thing. And then dig into particulars of their situation, right? So examples where instead of how much is your offer, you think of like, well, how much are you spending on groceries? And it's like, how, and then you get to see like, oh, it's like $100 a month. I was like, Jill, you're paying $200 a week on your groceries. She said 200 a week, not 100 a month. I was like, Jill, you're paying 200 a week on your groceries. You can't afford not to buy Isagenix because you could save money on your groceries. And she's like, what? And now I got her attention. So that was a pain point. So sometimes their problem is financial pain, sometimes
Yeah,
it's physical pain, sometimes
I
it's
do know.
digestive pain.
Like, just knowing him, I do know he does not make a lot of money. Like, just the place where he's working and stuff. Cause so
So maybe the place that what he would like to do is learn how to make more money. And so he can save money on his groceries by stop eating the easy fast food. He can get nutritious food and he can overcome any cravings that he might have. Where now, like junk food's expensive,
That
junk
might
food
be something
adds up.
also. Yeah.
So those are some things that you might want to consider. But yeah, like learning how to get his groceries for free, join the Eat for Free club, that could be motivating for him. And also remember that Dave MacArthur was a mechanic and he turned millionaire. So he was working in a mechanic shop just like him, and then he was able to grow out of that. And then also I was working at a mechanic shop just before joining Isagenix. So those are ways that like stories that you could share. So the particulars here is you want to find out their numbers and you want to look for patterns. And it's not just like it could be the health of the individual, like what is their health, their financial health, their physical health, just what are some of the goals they have, their energy level, it could be sleep, it could be whatever they value, right? However the conversation leads. And these are types of questions that you can ask, like how often, how much are you spending last month on groceries? How often do you go grocery shopping? Or it's like, how often are you cooking? Especially to someone who doesn't like cooking that much, and being able to save on their groceries there. Um, so these are like follow-up questions that helps you to dig deeper. It's like when you said this isn't really a phase. These are just questions that you can clarify at any phase. Any phase you can ask these. Oh, tell me more about that. Or it's like
Uh-huh.
cooking's been challenging. Or it's like um,
How else? What else?
yeah.
Like why? Why has that been a
Well,
challenge?
you don't want to
What?
say you want to avoid why,
Why?
because why can sound threatening or demanding, and so often when people are asked like why you do that, people feel like they're doing something wrong, or they feel like they have to, what's it called, kind of like stand for themselves, or like
Yeah,
they have to
yeah.
defend themselves, or they're being questioned in like a unpleasant manner. So like these are all ways that you can say why without saying the word why. It's
Okay.
like, how do you feel about your progress therefore? It's like, tell me more about that. And they're going to be sharing why. It's like, when you say, and when you say that
What do you mean by
you've
that?
been working out of the house and food's not very healthy for you, what do you mean by that? And even if you know what they mean, you can still ask them, what do you mean when you say blank, insert what they said? What do you mean by that? Because it makes the pain more painful. It helps them to discover their need because if it creates a gap, these are gap creating questions. And also like find out what they did. It's like, what have you tried in the past to lose weight? What have you tried in the past to be able, like, what have you tried so far for like cooking as a bachelor, cooking on a time crunch? What have you tried to fix your digestive issues? What have you, like your friend who's on a journey to lose weight? What are you doing currently to lose weight? How's that going for you? Have you tried anything similar before? Are you looking around for, are you looking for other solutions? And then what's really powerful too is like, when you ask, uh, what, what have you tried in the past? And then if they fix something, if they're like, well, I haven't tried anything to fix it, and you ask, well, why not? Why haven't you tried anything? Like if they've done nothing, you ask why not?
Mm-hmm.
Or if they say like, well, before finding us, have you been out there looking? And then you're able to ask like, what kind of
So by this point, do they like think that you're selling them something?
no, it's just
Yeah,
yeah.
we did. Yeah.
And then the by this time, well, no, I mean it doesn't matter because any of these conversations, it depends on the conversation. You can ask these on Messenger, you can ask these on a call, you can ask these on wherever you, or like with Bernie or something, they already know that you're signing up. Like these are questions that I'm asking you, even though I'm not talking to your prospects. Like I want to know these answers. What are the problem? What are they interested in? Why do they want to sign up? Is it something they said? Is that something you thought? It's like, what do you mean by that? These are questions you're able to ask at any time. And you're not hiding that you're selling something, but you're a consultant. You know what a consultant does?
Consult with people. But what does the word consult mean?
Yeah,
Shares?
don't use the word to define the word.
I know.
That's not going to help you.
I don't know that I'm not a consultant.
Okay, and that's okay. Um, a consultant is someone who's asking questions to find
A better solution?
a out what is to diagnose a problem and provide and prescribe
So like a
a
consultation call.
relevant solution.
Okay.
Yeah, consultation call is so that is where you're able to ask questions that helps to diagnose the problem accurately, understand their situation, their goals or
So
desires,
it's
and
just
then prescribe a relevant solution.
so it just means that we're problem solvers.
Yeah, but it's a big emphasis on asking questions. It's not trying to push them or sell them or try to
Yeah.
do something to them. Does that make
The
sense?
art of asking questions. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So like you think it'd be more effective if you say more statements or you do more asking.
Questions.
What percentage you think what you want to do as far as questions versus statements?
80-20. Well, I know that rule. So I'm
How does,
assuming
okay, assuming what?
that it's 80% questions and 20% statements.
Yeah, so what does that mean for how much you'd be listening on the call?
A lot of listening.
What percentage?
80% of listening.
Yeah, and 20% talking?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you want to think about it like that because
So then, like listening, okay, like if you ask a question and then they answer it and their answer is short, and then you're like, how come? Why? Or like just to dig more deeper.
yeah,
That's how you can listen more because sometimes then I feel like I'm just still talking, even if I'm asking questions. But that means I need to ask, how come? Why?
yeah. And when you say no, what do you mean? Like,
Like, what do you mean by
what do you
that?
mean by that? Or how? Like, what does that look like? It's like you haven't. Have you done anything? No. Also, if they're answering no, that's likely you're asking. There's either open-ended questions or closed-ended
Yeah.
questions. Closed-ended questions are yes or no. Open-ended, which one do you think is gonna open more discussion? These are the open-ended questions for you to learn. And what are all the ways that you see that you can ask these type of questions?
What do you mean?
Like when and what context do you think you'd ask the questions? Are they limited to just a sales call?
No, you can ask these all the time.
Like when? And all the time is correct, but what are specific
In
examples,
in
especially
specific
that you're going to be doing?
with people like
Mhm.
consulting,
That is a
like for
way.
Isagenix,
Yes, for Isagenix.
or like what do you mean? Are you
When do
talking
you
about like my
communicate with
personal life?
people? Yeah, that too. All of it. When do you communicate with people, you'll be able to practice these questions. What are examples? Like for instance, can you ask these questions in a live video?
Yeah. Well, no, no, not really. Well, you can ask open-ended questions, but then you just continue conversation. But not like what do you mean by that? You can't ask those in one video.
Is what do you mean by that the only kind of question that we're
No,
talking about here?
no, you can't ask like how long have you been friends? How long have you been trying this thing? Trying to get this result. Like you can ask those questions and that way it'll make them think even though they don't respond. Like, well, they can comment below. You can comment below.
Yeah, that's
How
true.
long? Isn't that like it's just you talking? But yeah.
Yeah, you could do comment below. You could be you talking. And have you heard of a rhetorical question before?
Yes.
Do you know what rhetoric means?
No, but I know what like rhetorical question is a question that you don't answer
But why? Why don't you answer it?
because you already know.
No? The answer lies in the definition of rhetoric.
I'm not sure what that means.
Rhetoric is the root word of rhetorical. Rhetoric means to persuade. It's like persuasive communication.
Um,
So the reason you don't answer a
Rhetorical
rhetorical
question
question is
because you know that
because,
they're just for persuading people.
yeah, the purpose of the question is to make a point, to transfer belief, to overcome an objection, to address a concern. So if you
So
tell us,
then the open-ended questions would be rhetorical.
yeah, in a video, because imagine if I am telling a story about Jill. Jill, you can save money on your groceries, and she came back a month later. I actually saved. I spent half as much as I normally would. I saved $200 a month on my groceries. This has been amazing. And then I asked the video, how many of you could use an extra $200 a month saving on your groceries, right? That's $2,400 a year. How many would like another $2,400 a year added to your bank account that you could redirect? Yeah? It's like put a yes in the chat. Or
That's a
me,
rhetorical
that's a
question.
rhetorical question. I'm not expecting them to answer, but if I'm on a call, could I answer that question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
Um,
like to save money? Like 200 and something?
Yeah, would you like to save 200 a month on your groceries?
Yeah.
So that's so you can use them on your videos. Now, what about through text?
Yeah.
Can you use these questions on text?
Yes.
Can you use them on voice messages on
Voice
WhatsApp?
messages, text,
Can you
calls.
use these questions when talking to strangers?
Yeah.
What about family members?
Oh yes.
Can you use the questions when helping get distributors set, like Joey set up for his business?
Yes. You can just use them everywhere.
Yeah, but everywhere is not the answer to my question. I'm asking for specific
Okay.
examples
Okay.
so you can see where. But saying everywhere doesn't help you to see anywhere.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Is that helpful to understand how to use these questions?
Yeah, and I think the more I do that, like when I'm texting people, when I'm talking to people, when I'm calling people, when I'm voice messaging people, asking these questions will help me just to be more persuasive and just be more of a communicator. I'm not sure. Yeah, that.
I agree with you. But when you say that this using these questions will help you to be more persuasive communicator, what do you mean by that?
Well,
In what way?
because these questions are to persuade people and they to help people to understand, like to these questions show that you're genuinely interested in the people. They show that uh it's just like the principles of persuasion are wrapped up in these talks or in these questions, and then if I use them, then I'll be more persuasive. It's cause and effect.
I totally agree. It's just like that. So let's look at your list. Does that make it more clear of how you'll be able to reach out to?
Yeah, yeah. I'm definitely gonna copy that clarity call so I can remember those questions.
Yeah, copy the
The
button,
button
and then when you click the button, it'll
automatically populate.
yeah, make sure to unsync it, and you can just write them if you want. But so that can help with TJ.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, voice notes are going to take longer to respond because you got to go back and forth. Phone calls will help you to build a business faster.
You're right.
So when you call
Get
people,
used to being on the phone with folks.
yeah, when you call people, you will get stuff done fast. Like your brother, he doesn't text. So just one thing that you're gonna learn.
So then what do I do? Not wait to sign him up, like sign him up on the call.
Yeah, sign them up on the phone. That I would sign up all the people on the phone. Walk them through it.
Okay.
When I sell my course, I sell people on the phone. When I sell my coaching program, I take their card number and information on the phone. And
Okay.
all these other people too that
You
I've
mean
ordered.
you take their card number?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I take their car. I used to take their social security number because it was required for every person we sign up over the phone.
And then how do they access it then? Like
Says what?
do you tell them to like Isagenix, like the back office?
You send them a link
You send them a
with their
link.
username and password. That's what I did. Send them a link with their username and password.
You tell them to download the app.
Yeah, they can download an app. Yeah,
Okay. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, like just tell me your information.
because
Because I did see that, like when the share cart, one of them is like sign up a new person and then you just put in their information.
yeah. So you could pull up your share cart and you just know that you're going to sign them up and take them through the process. And that way it's a whole lot less hassle and less like, oh, it won't go, the button won't work.
Yeah,
You
like
can do that for them. And you're not waiting on their schedule. You just call them. A lot of people mean to do it or they'll do it someday, but someday never comes. It's just a,
hmm
tomorrow is a mirage and it's always like tomorrow, tomorrow, later, later. But when you call, there's an instant sense of urgency. Like, oh, I'm ready right now. And a lot of people are reactive. So you can support them in taking that next step on their journey by just being on a call and be like, hey, we could do that. And for anyone who needs to like watch or learn, plug them in on Zoom with Dave MacArthur's like 2 trainings. I think those would be ideal for them to learn. And then the second would be to watch the video.
okay.
But remember that the skill of inviting is the number one skill that you can learn. Inviting them to take a look. Because a goal, you don't want what works, you want what duplicates.
Yeah, I've been like contemplating how to invite folks to watch the video. So like after you find out their why, and then like, hey, I have something that you might be interested in.
Excuse me. No, the way that you invite people is through Worry, Eric Worry, memory jogger. Your ultimate memory jogger. This is probably as good as any. Yep, there you go. So on here, there is going to be, woohoo! There's going to be, shows you, well, one of which, this shows you how to, why did you pull that back?
Oh, I just like,
It's going to be hard to view
yeah.
on the video. So this video shows the different types of people that there are, and it shows you how to build a list. And when this has a list, then it talks about like make a list. Step 1, make a list. Step 2, you please stop touching this. You recognize a second degree of separation. Like who do they know? Like you know Joey and Joey knows Bernie. And then step 3, constantly expand your list, which is what we're doing now. And step 4, network on purpose. So you're networking on purpose. So here's the instructions. These are the lists that you want to put them in, is what he's talking about. This is your approach of how you're going to approach them. There's a hot candidate list. Those are people who are ready to go right now. And these are lead with the product candidate lists. These are some people who are interested in the product. Some are interested in the business. So you want to differentiate those leads. And then others are the direct approach. You're just like, look, like you did with Willie and you did with Joey. It's like, look, this is, I want you to join Isagenix. I think this would be really good. Indirect approach is like, hey, I know this isn't for you, but who do you know that would be interested in saving money on their groceries or supporting their family or starting a business online? Who do you know that you would recommend? And sometimes they're like, well, I would. It's like, oh, well, if I sent you a link, would you be interested? So there's super indirect approach, which he's going to show you how to do those approaches.
Oh, okay.
These are just the memory joggers of how you think of people. This is how you set up your active contact list, active candidate list is what he calls it on Notion. So you're able to think about those, think about the tool, comments, and the dates when you're going to do it, the results, where it's at. That's what he recommends that you make a list. He says make a list of 100 people. And Malcolm, when he gets everybody started, always takes them through this exercise, and he says, make a list of 100 people. And then when you're Malcolm Hunt, yeah, he's a millionaire in another company and joined Isagenix in our downline, and he does this. Now here, step 1, it shows you literally be in a hurry, gives you the exact words. This is for cold markets that are strangers you don't know very well, warm markets, the people that you do know. So, and this is like to get on a call. So if you're face to face or you are on the phone, then it shows you how to do it, how to be in a hurry because you're not trying to take their time and it gives a sense of urgency. You're not there just beating around the bush. You're like, hey, I don't have a lot of time to talk, but it's really important that I reach you. Okay, step 2, compliment the prospect. You've been wildly successful, and I've always respected the way you've done business, or you've always been so supportive of me, and I appreciate that so much. So those are types of things you could do. And so you want to compliment the prospect. Step 3, make the invitation. And here's the exact scripts that you could do, and I've used them.
Were you being serious? I see that. Or were you just kidding around?
Exactly as it is. Don't change it. Don't deviate. This works very, very well. When you said that you wanted to lose weight, were you being serious or were you just kidding around? I've signed up so many people because of that line right there. Great. I think I found a way for you to help your mother to overcome her memory loss. Um, and great, I think I found a way for you to lose weight. Great, I think I found a way for you to save money on groceries. Great, I think I found a way for you to make more money from home. I found something you really need to see. So these are other approaches, scripts that you can do. They give you options. And then
Okay, I definitely want to go through this.
it's going to be worth it. This is going to be how you direct your conversation. So this is I did
If
this.
I with you,
I
if
literally did
I
this when I
DVD.
when I went out of the room. I talked to Sherry and I was like, Sherry, I just realized you have an active subscription with Isagenix, and Sherry was like, yeah, I do. And I was like, are you interested in building a business? She's like, I would be, but I don't know who to share with. See how she just inserted the objection? I was like, oh, well,
If I
if I showed you, if I helped you to find out how to meet people and share with them, would you be interested in getting started and sharing with people? She's like, yeah, I would love that. And so you literally take whatever their objection is. Oh, I don't like shakes. Well, if I showed you a way that you can enjoy this superfood nutrition system without having to drink it like a
yeah,
shake,
and you can do
would you
this
be interested?
along the whole process, not just
Yeah, for every single person. And not just after before they sign up, but after they get started with your products, you can also help support them to implement. Be like, oh, I don't know where to meet. I don't know where to meet people. Well, if I showed you a way for you to find an unlimited amount of people you could share Isagenix with, would you be interested in learning more? Would you
yeah.
be interested in watching a video? Would you be interested in taking a look? Would you be interested in getting on a call? Would you be interested in, you see, that's how you're able to get them to watch your third party teaching tool. What kind of teaching tool?
Third party.
What does that mean?
You're leveraging other people's resources.
Yeah, why would you leverage a resource to teach when you have the ability to explain it yourself?
Saves time.
No, it does save times, but that's not the primary reason.
It's more influential.
There, it is more influential, but even that's not the primary reason. It's more duplicatable. In network
Okay.
marketing, you don't want what works,
You
you
want
want
what
what duplicates.
duplicates. Yeah.
So why am I using a third-party teaching tool to show you how to invite? The number one skill in network marketing is a skill of inviting.
Because it duplicates.
This is duplicatable. In fact, I will even give you a audio chapter that goes through this exact process, and you can listen to it. I've listened to it like 10, 15 times.
Okay.
And the more you listen to it, you will learn how to do this. And I would have you do this is the gateway skill to building your business. If you learn how to invite people to take a look at sales messages, make offers, this is like the skill of making offers, inviting them to take a look.
Yeah, I just love that presentation, like Dave MacArthur presentation on foreverpack.com.
Yeah,
That was good.
so you could, for no matter what the problem is, hey, like when you said you were looking for a way to overcome your digestive issues, were you being serious or were you just kidding around? No,
Yeah.
seriously, I want to digest better. Well, if I could show you a way that you could get rid of your digestive issues, would you be interested in taking a look at a video? Yes. Okay, here's foreverpack.com.
Yeah.
And then you get a time commitment. When do you think you could watch the video for sure? When do you think you could watch the link for sure? And then the key here is to get them to say yes a second time. They already said yes, but you're not even sending them the link yet. They say yes, I'd be interested in taking a look.
Why wouldn't you think
Before you even send the link, you're like, hey, the video is 20 minutes. When do you think you'd be able to watch the video for sure? And they're like, oh, I don't suggest a time. Just ask them and have them give you a time. It's not definitive. If it's not definitive, I'll try tomorrow sometimes and tell them I don't want to waste your time or mine. Why don't we just lock in a time when you'll have seen it for sure? And be like, okay, tomorrow evening. Like, all right, but you still didn't send them a link. So then you confirm. Like, so if they say they'll watch it tomorrow
So if I
night,
call you Wednesday morning, you'll have seen it for sure.
yeah. Well, today's Friday, so
That's what I said.
yeah. If I call you, watch
Sunday
it tonight.
morning.
So if I call you tomorrow morning, would you for sure? You'll have for sure seen the
Yeah.
video. They're like, yeah. Okay, cool. And then the key here, now they've said it 3 times that they'll follow through. They've done it themselves. They set them now. They've set a real appointment with you. And then step 7 is get a time. What's the best number and time for me to call? And now if they'll give you like over text
Okay,
messages.
so then like you send them the resource to look at that, and then you call them.
No,
and
you don't
sign
send them a
up.
link. This is not where you sign them a link. Nope.
Oh,
You don't even call them and sign them up right then and there. Remember, it takes about 7 exposures before someone actually says, yes, this is one exposure. You do this for every exposure. All 7 experiences, you do that.
call them. Second experience.
Yeah. hmm You're able to call them and go through this process. And it's simple. So But check this out. You have not sent them a link by step 7.
Okay.
And it says, so this is just saying like, hey, can I call you from this number? What's the best time? And now they've said yes 4 times. The chances, please stop. What are you doing? The chances they'll follow through has been increased from less than 10% of people you send a link to will actually watch it. Now you've got 80% likelihood of them to actually watch the Forever Pack that you set up.
Okay.
Does that sound like something you'd like to do?
Yeah.
Why?
It'll take me a little while getting used to it because it's way more direct of communication than what I'm used to.
And you know that direct people are able to get more of what they want in life.
Yeah. I just don't want to seem too pushy.
Well, see, those are beliefs that you have to address. So are you really being pushy? Because you're helping them to do what they said they're going to do.
You're right.
And the chapter follow up on the 7 steps of network marketing, he talks about the skill of follow up, and he helps you to address your mind of what like being pushy or following up actually looks like.
Okay, where did you say? I didn't.
This is chapter like 4 or chapter 5 of the
Okay.
7 steps of network becoming a network marketing professional by Eric Worre, the book. And he talks about the skill of follow up. That's one of the skills of to master in like building your business. And he shows you how to change the way that you look at following up,
Okay.
so that you're not being pushy, but you're actually helping them to do what they've expressed that they want to do.
Okay.
So you want to see, I can't read. So then you want to put the appointment in a place that you won't forget. And
It's
now,
gonna give me Google Calendar or
yeah,
something.
Google Calendar. And now you want to get off the phone. So remember, you're in a hurry,
So
right?
was this like all this conversation on a phone and
This
then
is on a phone. So it's like a 5 minute conversation. It's like a 7 minute conversation. This isn't a 30 minute, hour, 45 minute. It's a brief conversation. What are your thoughts about that?
uh yeah, it works. I'm gonna have to talk to more people on the phone or like address my beliefs of like just calling people. Yeah,
Which is that one of the goals that you had before?
I have, yeah.
So do you see that this is something that your Isagenix business is a vehicle that's going to help you to be consistent in something you've already wanted to be consistent in?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's good. Yeah, so those make a big difference. Oh, hold on. Those are the 8 steps. Yeah, so just what I would do is
Listen to
listen.
the training.
Yeah. What are you
Okay,
doing right
I'll
now?
do that.
What are you doing this for?
I don't know.
I don't either. So I'll send you the link to, if I sent you the link to this Skill of Inviting chapter of the audiobook,
Yeah.
would you be willing to listen to it?
Mm-hmm.
When do you see as the soonest that you'd be able to listen to it for sure?
Sunday.
Sunday?
Yeah. I could potentially listen to it today, but probably Sunday's better.
Like when you're going around shopping around
Yeah,
town?
but I did have a different book that I was.
Oh, you wanted to listen to something different?
Yeah.
Okay. So like Sunday morning, afternoon?
Probably. I need to find time to do new learnings and stuff. But I could do it during my lunch break. Afternoon probably better.
Afternoon would make more sense? Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. See how when I asked you that question, you said Sunday, but you had no time of when you could actually do it. So now you've actually drastically improved the likelihood of listening to it.
Okay. Yeah, I know what you mean.
So then, if I talk to you about it Sunday evening, will you for sure listen to it?
Yeah.
Cool. Sounds good. So then I'll send you the link, and then we could talk about this next time Sunday evening.
All right.
Did that feel pushy to you?
Not very. No,
Not very, or did it feel a little pushy to you?
a little bit, but
In, in
that's
what
just
way?
because we're direct.
What part?
Just like the last part. So if I send you, will you have for sure looked at it? That part.
Oh, that was like the second part.
No,
Was that the last part? I think it's step,
it's not there. It's like eight, step eight or
yeah,
not,
step five.
seven. No.
For sure look at it. When do you think that you'll be able to for sure look at it?
Okay.
So it's kind of in the middle.
Oh, and then they say for sure every single time.
Mhm. Was it the first time I said when could you for sure listen to it, or if I talk to you a Sunday evening, you'll for sure look at it?
That last one.
So but do you want to talk about a Sunday evening?
Yeah.
Do you want further support on it?
Yeah.
So then is it something that's like, am I confirming, is this something I'm doing to you, or am I confirming this for you?
For you.
So, and if we didn't confirm a time where we're going to talk together, then what's the point of me giving you the resource?
Okay. You're right.
Because otherwise we're just floating stuff in the air.
Yeah, you're right. Thank you.
Yeah, so we want to think about not as it being pushy, but as like this is what professionals do. Here's another framework for you to remember: BAFA,
Book an appointment from an
BAFA.
appointment.
Yeah. So that last question was like, we're booking an appointment Sunday evening. We're going to talk about your goals, what you learned. You could share your insights, and we want to do that before we get off the phone, before we
Okay.
start the conversation. Cool. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how helpful was this for you to understand how to reach out to your friends or the people you want to share Isagenix with?
9. It's
9.
good.
That's really high. Why'd you give it such a high number?
Because I know this stuff works. Because I know it's duplicatable. I know this is what people have done.
It's so interesting to me because even your answer of like what persuades you to find value in this is like your meta program is very externally driven. So like that, this is what works, is what other people do, and this is what they've done successfully. That's why it's so like valuable and persuasive to you. And it's good to know people who are internally driven and externally driven.
Yeah.
Thanks for your help.
Should I cut it?
Yeah, we could stop it here.